Good morning, everyone. Today we are starting with our online lectures. So today's lecture is on histology, that is on lymphoid tissue. We have already seen about the cardiovascular system. Last lecture we have seen about the arteries and veins and their histological feature. Today we will see about the lymphatic system and their histological features. So today we are going to learn about what is lymphoid tissue, what are primary and secondary lymphoid organs, and detailed histology of these organs like lymph node, thymus, spleen, and palatine tonsil. What is lymphatic system? It is a immune system of body which consists of lymphatic vessels, specific lymphatic organs which are formed by accumulation of lymphatic tissue, and they are surrounded by capsules. In our body, such organs are lymph node, spleen, and thymus. There are some lymphatic tissue which are present in tissues of other organs. So they are serving the immune function with respect to other organs like bone marrow, urinary tract, respiratory tract, GI tract, in appendix. Here there is an aggregation of lymphatic tissue. What is lymph and the lymphatic vessels? So lymph is basically a whitish fluid which is containing white blood cells circulating through lymphatic vessels. These vessels, they begin as network of blind capillaries in the tissues of body. These capillaries then later on form lymphatic vessels. So we have two big lymphatic ducts in our body, that is thoracic duct which is on left side and right lymphatic duct on right side of body. These will carry lymph and they will finally drain at the root of neck in the junction between internal jugular and subclavian vein. While traveling through these vessels, lymph gets filters in lymph nodes. Lymphatic tissue is basically a specialized form of connective tissue. We have also seen other specialized form of connective tissues like bone and cartilage. So this is also a specialized form of connective tissue. Its supporting framework is formed by reticular cells and reticular fibers. So main content here is lymphatic cells, T and B lymphocytes, where there is an aggregation in tissues supported by reticular cells and reticular fibers. The spaces within these meshworks are occupied by lymphocytes. Other than this, there are plasma cells also and macrophages also. What is the function of this lymphatic tissue? It is a defensive system of our body. It engulfs the foreign bacteria, cells, and produces lymphocytes, T and B lymphocytes, and plasma cells. Having known this, there are different types of lymphoid tissue in our body. Some are primary, which are there since from the birth, and some are secondary, which develops later on. So the primary lymphoid organs which we have is thymus and bone marrow. These are the sites of lymphocyte production, which is independent of antigenic stimulation. So they do not need any antigenic stimulation for lymphocyte production, and they are fully developed at birth. Both T and B lymphocytes, they are produced here. T lymphocytes will leave the bone marrow and they will mature in the thymus. So thymus T stands for T lymphocytes. Lymphocytes which are produced here will migrate to secondary lymphoid organs. The secondary lymphoid organs which are present in our body, these are lymph nodes, Peyer's patches in intestine, tonsils, and appendix. Also, there are diffuse lymphoid tissues which are present with related to different organs like MALT, mucosa associated lymphoid tissue, GALT, gut associated lymphoid tissue, BALT, BALT, that is a bronchus associated lymphoid tissue. These are the sites of interaction between antigens and lymphocytes. So whenever there is an extra or foreign bacteria, viruses, they are harming our body, that time these secondary lymphoid organs, they will act and they will induce an immune response with the production of lymphocytes. So this proliferation here is antigen dependent. In primary lymphoid organs, it is antigen independent. So the classification of lymphoid tissue, we have dense lymphoid tissue and a diffuse lymphoid tissue. So the dense lymphoid tissue here we have as a thymus, lymph node, tonsil, spleen, which we are going to see in detail histologically, MALT and BALT like Peyer's patches. Diffuse lymphoid tissue, we have lymphocytes and plasma cells of GIT and respiratory system. Diffuse lymphoid tissue, that is mucosa associated lymphoid tissue we have, that is MALT. What happens here? There is accumulation of lymphatic tissue in the mucous membrane of gastrointestinal, respiratory, urinary and reproductive tracts. Lymphocytes here are randomly disposed beneath the epithelium. These are located in areas where they come in contact with antigens directly. What is a lymphatic nodule? So whenever you will learn about the lymphatic organs histologically, you will come across this term lymphatic nodule. So lymphatic nodule is a circumscribed concentration of lymphatic tissue that is having lymphocytes and related cells like reticular cells, fibers, there are plasma cells, macrophage cells. Here it is not surrounded by capsule, a single nodule not surrounded by capsule. This is present in scattered lymphoid tissue, infiltration of connective tissue as in lamina propria of appendix, in tonsil, in encapsulated organs like spleen and lymph nodes. So major content or main component of this lymphatic tissue is lymphatic nodule, that is a concentration of lymphatic tissue not surrounded by capsule. So if you observe the lymphatic nodule, it will show a lighter area surrounded by a darker area. So the light and dark color of these areas depend on the amount of lymphocytes which are present. A lightly stained area will have lesser number of lymphocytes and a darkly stained area will have more number of darkly stained, densely packed lymphocytes. So here you will have a lightly stained area known as a germinal center surrounded by a darkly stained zone. The germinal center will appear whenever a nodule will be exposed to antigenic stimulation. So having known the basic component of lymphatic tissue, that is there is lymph node, there are various lymphatic organs. We will learn 4 organs in detail, 4 structures. First is lymph node, second is spleen, then we have thymus and fourth is tonsil. So histologically you have these 4 slides for your practicals. So first we'll see the histological features of a lymph node. So if you see histologically, lymph node, it will appear like this. In gross anatomy, if you see, lymph nodes are small bean-shaped structures which are ranging from few millimeter to centimeter. So they are small structure. Histologically, when you will see aggregation of lymphatic nodules within, and these structures, they are surrounded by capsule. So what is lymph node? These are small masses of lymphatic tissue along the course of lymphatic vessel. You must have encountered during your gross dissection various kind of lymph nodes. So lymph from any part of body passes through the lymph nodes and then it will go towards the main bloodstream. Function of this lymph node is filtration of lymph, formation of lymphocytes in response to antigenic stimulation, filtration of microbes, foreign material, and both T and B lymphocytes, they are produced in lymph node. So if you see histological feature, it will appear like this. It is surrounded by main capsule, which will send septae or trabeculae within the tissue. Beneath the capsule, there is appearance of subcapsular sinus. It is a space beneath the capsule. Sinus is a space. So this is the identifying feature of a lymph node slide, presence of a subcapsular sinus. So here it will send septae within the tissue. You will see surrounding the septae, there are appearance of the lymphatic nodules having a germinal center and outer darker area. Now, if you see the slide, it is divided into the outer part known as the cortex and the inner part known as the medulla. So, histologically, they are kidney-shaped tissues, which will the capsule will send numerous septa and divide the node into lobules. Beneath the lobules, there is a subcapsular sinus. The parenchyma of this tissue is divided into outer cortex and inner medulla. Further, the cortex is divided into outer area and a deeper area. So in the outer area, the lymphocytes are arranged as primary and secondary nodules. Here, mainly B lymphocytes are present. Primary nodules are those where there are small lymphocytes with heterochromatic nucleus with little cytoplasm and they are deeply stained. And the secondary nodule is the one having the germinal center. So mostly in lymph node, we'll see these secondary nodules. What is that germinal center? As I said, a germinal center will always stain lightly. It is the area of antigenic stimulation, having more of a light stain lymphocytes. Also, there are macrophages and plasma cells. In deeper cortex, the lymphocytes are diffusely placed. There is no appearance of the center, germinal center. So, diffusely scattered lymphocytes. Here, mainly T lymphocytes are present. When you go deeper down, you will reach the medullary region. So in medullary region, there is the lymphocytic tissue, which is arranged in cords. They are known as medullary cords, which are present in medulla. In between, you can see these blood vessels. So now you know the structure of blood vessels histologically. So they will appear like this in between, supplying blood. Now, basic component of a lymphatic tissue is reticular cells, which will produce reticular fibers. So, in between, whatever you can see, these are the processes of the reticular cells. So, you will see outer capsule sending the septa. There is a subcapsular sinus. These are the reticular cells which are sending the processes. So, this is forming a meshwork or a framework of a lymphoid tissue, in between where there are lymphocytes are entrapped. The function of these reticular cells is it will synthesize the reticular fibers, that is type 3 collagen fibers and ground substance, and they will also attract T, B lymphocytes and dendritic cells. Dendritic cells, they are coming from bone marrow and they are antigen specific to T cells. You will only see more number of lymphocytes in a slide rather than the other cells. Next cells which are present other than lymphocytes is, so lymphocytes we have both T and B lymphocytes. Also we have reticular cells, plasma cells. Plasma cells here are the, it will, you will see like this, not visible under low power in a light microscope. These are antibody presenting cells which are present in medullary cords. Then we also have macrophages. You can see these are the macrophages. Under high power, you try to see these cells when you will see under practical. These are present in the medullary region, but they are present in a germinal center. The function of these macrophages is phagocytosis. Also, we have antigen presenting cells like dendritic and follicular dendritic cells and endothelial cells. So, endothelial cells will line the blood vessels and lymphatic sinus. So, how is the flow of lymph through lymph node? So, each lymph node receives many afferent vessels, and there is one efferent vessels which is flowing through, one or two efferent vessels. So, through these afferent vessels, there is entry of lymphocytes in the lymph nodes. There is a filtration process which goes on here in the lymph node, and the filtered lymph will come out through the efferent arterioles, efferent vessels. The flow of blood is opposite. The blood will flow from the inner side, from the medullary side. Then the blood capillaries will branch and they will supply to the lymphatic tissue and they will flow into the opposite way. So the flow of blood and the lymph is in the opposite direction. Lymph will come from the outer capsule and will go through the efferent vessel, and the blood will come through the medulla and go. It will supply the lymphatic tissue. So both of them run in a opposite way. Applied aspect with lymph node, there is a lymphangitis. Itis is the inflammation of lymphatics. Lymphedema, that is a soft tissue swelling due to stasis of lymph. Lymphadenitis, that is enlargement of lymph nodes, which is secondary to infection. And lymphadenopathy. So it is again the pathological variety, lymphadenopathy. So 4 applied aspect you see with the lymph node. So how you will identify lymph node is by the presence of subcapsular sinus beneath the capsule is the identifying feature of a lymph node. So this is a slide, histological slide, H&E staining, capsule, subcapsular sinus. You can see the capsule is sending the septae, lymphatic aggregation, lymphatic nodules having a germinal center surrounded by a darker area. Inner side there is the medulla. Next tissue we have is the spleen, very important tissue of the body. It is the largest encapsulated lymphoid organ which is present in the abdominal region, left upper quadrant of the abdomen. You can see the location here. The function of this organ is removal of the defective RBC or destruction of RBC occurs in spleen. Also, there is production of T and B lymphocytes, and it sends the immune response, again antigens circulating in blood. In embryonic life, it is the site of hemopoiesis. Also, it stores the blood. So if you see a histological slide, you will see an appearance like this, surrounded by capsule, and within that you will see 2 important areas known as white pulp and red pulp. So we'll see what are these areas. So as other organs, it is also covered by capsule, which will send trabeculae inside, which will divide the tissue in various areas. In between trabeculae, there is a network of reticular cells, fibers, which is forming the meshwork or framework of the lymphoid tissue. Then near the hilum, there is a depression where the structures will either enter or leave the organ. So if you see the histological slide, there is a covering of capsule. See here, there is no subcapsular sinus. So absence of subcapsular sinus. Capsule is sending the septae or trabeculae inside. Again, you can see here aggregation of lymphatic tissue. There is lighter stain and darker stain areas. In between, you can see red color zones running, which are the areas of blood vessels known as the red pulp. So the parenchyma will show a rounded white area known as a white pulp, which is surrounded by a red color zone known as a red pulp. What is that white and red pulp? White pulp means there is aggregation of lymphocytes which is surrounded by an arteriole or a small artery. So there is continuous formation of lymphocytes here, and due to this expansion, the central artery here will be shifted to eccentric place, outer place. So the presence of eccentric arteriole within this lymphatic nodule is a feature of a spleen slide or white pulp. What is that white pulp? It is the aggregation of the lymphocyte surrounding an eccentric arteriole. So it has a lymphatic nodule with germinal center. This is also called as splenic nodule or Malpighian corpuscle. They contain B lymphocyte and rest of the white pulp has T lymphocytes. What is this red pulp? Red pulp consists of network of interanastomosing splenic cords, also known as cords of Billroth. These are very important feature of a spleen slide, red pulp and white pulp. What is white pulp? Is the aggregation of lymphocytes with an eccentric arteriole, which you will not see in any other slide. Also, there is a red pulse, that is a interanastomosing splenic cords or cords of Billroth. These cords, they are made up of reticular cells, reticular fibers with T and B lymphocytes. Also, there is macrophages, plasma cells, RBCs and granulocytes. In between the splenic cords, there are spaces which are filled with sinuses. So in slide, you will see a capsule which is sending a trabeculae. There is a white pulp with the centric arteriole and a red pulp having a sinuses. So function here is a trapping of antigen within the blood and present it to lymphocytes for phagocytosis. And this will initiate the immune response. So within the spleen, how is the circulation? So you know any artery will enter and supply and vein will carry the venous blood. So there is a splenic artery which is supplying and splenic vein which is draining the blood. So splenic will go inside, splenic artery will supply the spleen. In the trabeculae it will run where it is known as trabecular artery. Due to repeated branching, it will enter into the pulp of splenic tissue. Here it is surrounded by lymphatic aggregation. So the artery which is surrounded by this lymphatic aggregation forms your white pulp of spleen. Here now it is known as the central artery, but it is not centrally placed. It is eccentrically placed. Now this central artery will go on further branching and it will form a peninsular artery. These are straight vessels. Now these straight vessels will present a thickening, localized thickening, which is known as ellipsoid. Now these ellipsoid or peninsulae will run further and they will divide into capillaries. Now from these capillaries, the blood will run into the sinuses. Now due to this formation, the blood circulation, there are two theories are proposed. One is open circulation theory and another is closed circulation theory. So in closed circulation theory, what happens? These capillaries will end up in sinuses. The sinuses will take the blood and then it will carry it through the veins, trabecular veins and to the splenic vein. In open circulation theory, the capillaries open and they will pour their blood into the splenic cords of red pulp. And from there, the blood will pass into sinuses. So there are two different kind of theories which are proposed here, open circulation and a closed circulation theory of splenic circulation, which you should know. So according to both the theories, the blood exchange between the capillaries and sinuses, how it takes place. So again, here you can see the artery passing through trabeculae known as trabecular artery. Then you have the central artery running through the white pulp, then peninsulae. So in closed circulation, it will open into sinuses, and in open circulation, it will pour into sinuses and veins will take out like that. So these are two different theories, open circulation and a closed circulation. So same thing on the slide. Same thing again, closed circulation theory. It will directly go into sinuses. In open theory, from ellipsoid, it will pour into the red pulp and then it will go to sinuses. Applied aspect of spleen. Splenomegaly is the enlargement of spleen. Spleen is only palpable when it is double of its size and it will move towards the downward direction. It will be prevented from moving in the downward direction. It will move upward. So you can feel the spleen here in the abdomen. Then there is a rupture of spleen which may occur due to trauma. So due to rupture, there is destruction of the splenic tissue. There can be hemorrhage also. Splenectomy is the removal of spleen which occurs in condition where there is more enlargement or any tumors. There is splenectomy is performed. So this is how the slide of spleen will appear. So eccentric arterioles in a Malpighian corpuscle is the identifying feature of a spleen. So when you see a slide of spleen, again it is a lymphatic tissue made up of reticular cells and fibers, having more number of lymphocytes. Two important features, white pulp and a red pulp. White pulp consists of aggregation of lymphatic tissue with eccentric arteriole, and red pulp having a network of arteries with the sinuses. Various sinuses are there, and there is no subcapsular sinus, absence of subcapsular sinus. So again, you can see a slide histologically. You can see the artery, germinal central with eccentric arterioles. So that is about two slides, lymph node and a spleen.